You see this classic photo? Just like the story it's based on, it's completely fake. And I will tell you why. And I also tell you why I don't particularly care. In 1974, a disturbed man named Ronald Defoe killed his entire family, claiming that voices told him to do it. A year later, a family bought the house and left it, leaving all their things behind because they said there were malevolent spirits. But many say the whole thing was an elaborate get-rich-quick scheme. What's the truth? Let's find out together. The film was based on a book that was supposedly based on a true story. I won't go into details about the book, but to me it's the best ghost story ever written. As for the film, its legacy is mixed, depending on who you talk to. Fans like me generally love the film and consider it one of the best haunted house movies ever filmed. Critics generally hate it, considering it slow, boring, and narratively clumsy. Honestly, both have a point, but I will always be with the people on this one. I have loved this film ever since I was a kid. Yes, the film is slow and even boring at times. And yes, it does bring up a bunch of plot points that never get resolved and basically just get forgotten about, including all the scenes that seem to point toward the dad pulling a Jack Torrance and axing the family, but end up going nowhere. But so what? The scene with the imaginary friend who turns out to be a demonic pig with glowing eyes, the scene with the flies in the middle of winter, the part where the demons yell, "Get out!" to the priests are some of the creepiest ghost scenes ever made. And frankly, the theme song is the most gruesomely underrated theme in horror history, featuring creepy child-chanted vocals, obviously making you think of the spirits of the kids who were murdered. The simple, effective piano and the brooding strings in the background. If I had to pick the scariest theme song, this theme would get my pick. By the way, the house itself just looks creepy. When you turn the lights on, the upstairs windows look like glowing eyes. For you modern fans, I would say that Amityville is easily better than the modern gems like Insidious, The Conjuring, and Paranormal Activity. As for the truth, frankly, I think it's all a bunch of BS. A great story, of course, but an elaborate get-rich-quick scheme. Ed and Lorraine Warren of Conjuring Annabelle fame investigated the place and said it was haunted, but that doesn't mean much to me. In all honesty, I'm biased. I am fascinated by the idea of ghosts, but I don't actually believe they exist. But the evidence is still damning. DeFeo's lawyer admitted he and George Lutz made it all up to get money. Most of the events can't be corroborated, and there's many conflicting stories. And finally, the family, after the Lutz claim they never saw a single sign of paranormal activity. I think my house is as haunted as the Amityville house. And if you read the book, which is superior to the film, things are just so over the top, you really can't take it seriously as an actual happening. Still, the DeFeo family murders did really happen, so whether you think they were spirits telling him or he was just a wacko is up to your interpretation. The film was followed by a legion of sequels of various quality, but the sequel, Amityville 2, The Possession, is very nearly as good as the original. It is actually a prequel rather than a real sequel, showing how the family murders took place. And the film is just really weird and schlocky, like an Italian horror film, but oddly kind of creepy as well. There's also a weird incest thing between the main character and his sister that, well, is kind of gross, to say the least. If I was Ronald Defoe, I would sue the film from prison, because there was never anything like that which happened in real life. The second half of the film is basically an Exorcist ripoff, including an elaborate transformation scene. I love this movie. It's filthy, it's trashy, and I dig it a ton. I wouldn't say it was better than the original, but it's actually more fun to watch. One of the most underrated sequels ever made. The others don't always even feature the house, just objects inside, like the dollhouse and a haunted clock that manipulates time, a haunted mirror, there's a haunted lamp. The fourth film is a made-for-TV movie, and its opening scene is so over the top it's actually unintentionally funny. A recent film was made that was so meta that the characters actually watched the original film on tape. There was also a remake, which I love. Granted, it's not a particularly good movie, but I watched it in theaters when I was going through a tough time, and some of my friends from high school I haven't seen in years since tried to cheer me up by seeing it with me. Not a classic by any means, but I will always have nostalgia for it. Oh, and there's a ton of unrelated films that got the Amityville title because of a lapsed copyright. And they used the title to lure in people who would otherwise have enough sense not to waste their time on junk. I haven't even seen any of these, but I have seen the whole real franchise, and it's better than people think, even though the only exceptional ones are the first two.